Okay. Well, welcome to our Monday night team call. It is January 18th, our third 2021 Monday night call of the year, which is amazing. My name's Emily. I am a QNMD with the company. I've been in this community for close to 8 years, and I love these Monday night calls because number one, it always leaves me feeling inspired. Number two, it always just helps me stay close to the fire, stay close to the community. And I think right now more than ever, staying connected, even if it is virtually via Zoom, it just helps us stay as a close-knit community. So thank yourself for showing up tonight. If you're with us live or if you're watching the recording, hopefully we're gonna teach you guys some new things on how to attract a new customer via social media. So I don't know if you guys know this, but 80% of what we do is actually talking to people. And whether that's a new person or a customer or a partner, or maybe a new prospect, a new friend, we are paid to make new friends. So maybe that is nerve-wracking to you if you're more of an introvert, or maybe you're an extrovert, but you don't even know what that looks like. I'm here to hopefully teach you some new strategies tonight on how to attract new customers via social media and have that conversation that you can convert and pivot into a new customer. So I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, my name's Emily, and tonight we're going to be talking all about how to attract new customers via social media. So I hate when I do this because my mouse disappears and now I have no control of my screen other than clicking next. So systems are key, and this training is designed for a brand new person. So like I said a couple minutes ago, if you're brand new into this community and you're figuring out how you can use social media as your friend to attract new customers, make new friends, start new relationships, and take care of the customers you already have, this training hopefully will empower you to learn some new strategies. So we're just going to jump right in. And before I share my screen and share our guest speaker, I just want to read this. I love this. It said, the reality of long-term success is everything beyond your first post is where true success is coming from. So I'm going to I hate this. I forgot that my mouse disappears and I have no control of my screen when I share my screen. So I'm just not going to share my screen other than the video that I'm going to share. So my biggest advice is, if you're brand new here, maybe you're somewhat newer to this community, is I really want you to think long-term. We're all always learning new tricks and new strategies and new things. And although we all love Juice Plus, and we came into this community probably because we fell in love with the product and we fell in love with the community, or even the business, just know that long-term success is beyond just your first few posts. So don't get discouraged if you make a few posts and you get vulnerable and you put things out there and nobody likes it or nobody comments on it. It's okay. Know that in the beginning, there are maybe just a few people listening, but eventually more people will attract more listeners. And the more consistent you stay, it takes time, just like anything else. So anything worth building takes time. So give yourself some grace and have patience with yourself, and just ignore the number of likes and comments in the beginning. Ignore the number of people that are engaged on your actual post, because hopefully you can remember a time that you've maybe seen a friend's post, whether it was about Juice Plus or not, that you related with or found true. And maybe you didn't like or comment it, but you saw it. So don't underestimate the power of a post, and don't underestimate the post that you put out there and it's like crickets, you guys, because I have put out many posts where it's crickets, and then there's just that one post that connects me with an old friend, that connects me with this, that connects me to a new customer or a new partner. So consistency is key, and I want you guys to know that before I share my video and share the content that I have for you guys tonight. So give yourself grace and know that we're all starting in a different place, and don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10, okay? So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to actually be sharing Jamie Kinsey. She is a national marketing director. She probably has I think she's presidential marketing director, 100 Club, and she has built a team. She used to be here in the St. Louis area. Now she lives in Kansas City. And she has an awesome training on social media and how to get social. And I wanted to share a snippet of her training tonight, and then we're going to have time for Q&A after. So let me share my screen here. Hopefully I don't lose control of my mouse, but I may. Okay, can you guys see this?
Let's talk first about the 3 types of people that show up on social media. And these were borrowed from a training from a sideline friend in another company, but I thought they were so powerful that I wanted to use them with you. The first one is called troll and scroll. These people hop on their social sites and they get stuck in the scroll hole and they troll. So oftentimes they are, posting negative comments, but they're never somebody who's creating original thought. They're not providing value to the world other than the comments that they might share or the emojis that they might do every now and then. But other than them initiating on somebody else's content, they're not creating content themselves. The second kind of person is a spreader. And sometimes when I go in to see these people's profiles, I don't end up friending them because I feel like they really aren't sharing. They're not being vulnerable. They're not sharing themselves with me. They're not really, I really don't want to see all of these shared articles or videos that they share. And there are a lot of people who do that. So spreaders are the people who are only sharing other people's content. They're never creating original content of their own. And lastly, the third type of person is a contributor. And this is who we want you to be. We want you to be somebody who is providing content and original content and adding value to the world around us because the world needs it. And why not you? So let's talk about engagement. When we post, we want to see engagement. And engagement is the level of activity that's generated from a post. And all engagement matters. It doesn't matter if. Hi guys, welcome to. I want to start to create a list of these people that you see that are liking your stuff, that social media is in the world. So engagement in some fashion. Strong 31, where the second kind of person is a spreader. And sometimes when I go in to see the vulnerable, they're not want to see all of these shared articles or videos. Spreaders are the people original content of their own. And lastly, the third type of person is a contributor. And this is who we want you to be, adding value to the world around us because the world needs it. And why not you? So let's talk about engagement. When we post, we want to see engagement. And engagement is the level of activity that's generated from a post. And all engagement matters. It doesn't matter if it's an emoji, if it's a comment, or if it's they send you a private message from your post. It's all awesome. So we're gonna keep diving into that. Engagement. Why is engagement, why does all engagement matter? Because engagement creates opportunity. When you see somebody who's viewed your video, when you see somebody who's commented, when you've seen somebody who is, giving you heart emojis on your stuff, you kind of are going to start to make a mental note of these people. You might want to start to create a list of these people that you see that are liking your stuff, that are commenting, and that are, viewing your stories and your videos. Because if you see this person, there's going to be a common theme with this person. You're going to want to reach out and have a little bit more of a conversation. So kind of like a game of ping pong or a game of tennis, social media is very much like that. So when you do provide a post, I want you to engage with those who are engaged with you. Because when you do this, it promotes and facilitates relationships and it increases connection. And that feels so much better than everything else that's going out in the world. So engagement is a two-way street. So you posted, they liked, or they commented, and I want you to comment back, or I want you to engage back with them in some fashion. Because we'll dive into a little bit more of that opportunity that's going to come with that in just a second. So 3 of my simple steps to increase your engagement are to post consistently. And I know that can be overwhelming. That has been overwhelming for me to think about as well. But we are creating this first 28 days. And then as a team, we've done different things in a group called Strong 31, where we've done monthly, like every day for 2 months, we've provided value. So just know that we're constantly working to make it easier for you. But I know that once you get in the flow of these 28 days, you're going to find a natural rhythm with being able to be more consistent yourself. So post consistently. Number two, post original content. And what we're, the idea that we're giving you, you're going to be able to grab an image, you're going to be able to grab text, and you're going to be able to make it your own, but it's still going to be original to you. And that's what people want to see, is your original content. And lastly, we want you to engage with others' posts. So when they get engaged with you, we want you to engage back. But there's probably also going to be a list of people who you most want to share Juice Plus with, or that you most want to invite onto your team. I encourage you to actively go to their pages and engage with their posts, because when you do that, the algorithms are going to wake up and they're going to start to see more of your stuff now that you're starting to be more consistent, and you're going to get to watch and see if they're engaging back with yours. It's going to be beautiful. So those three things that I just mentioned, you could just camp there for after your 28 days, right? But these are three steps to even enhance your engagement. If you're wanting to flex your social media muscle and take it a little bit further, our encouragement is for you to use stories. Now, there's a rule of thumb that says on your actual wall, they recommend 1 to 2 posts a day. But in stories, it's unlimited. And we always recommend never say the word Juice Plus on your actual wall, on your actual post. But when it comes to stories, there's something that just gets thrown out and you're able to weave it in a little bit more organically, not pitchy by any means, but you're able to weave the brand name in a little bit more in your stories, not on your wall. So use stories. That's going to be my first tip for you. And if you guys have more questions about how to do that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or your uplines. We'll be able to help you out. Second is to go live frequently. This may scare you. If you have never gone live, there is a guy named Ray Higdon, and about 4 times a year, he does a challenge called the 14-Day Live Challenge, where he is educating you how to go live on your social media, giving you ideas, tips, and tricks. It's really helped me to flex that muscle and to be able to go live a little bit more frequently. I just went live last week, in the last couple of weeks, because of our sugar edit that we just finished up, but it gave me something to talk about with people, that I had something going on and I wanted to share with them what it was, and I wanted to offer it to them as well. And I shared our experience with my kids as we were going through it too. So go live frequently, really going live. You guys, if you could find a way to go consistently live, this is the most bang for your buck. Facebook wants to overtake YouTube as like the video hub. And so the more you're using their tools, the more like they're going to reward you with viewers. So that is a tip for you. And lastly, add value to your audience. So again, we're about inspiring healthier living. It doesn't stop at Juice Plus capsules, right? Or our shakes. It doesn't stop at our product line. How can you add value to your audience? During the sugar edit, was there something that you swapped this thing that you used to eat for this because it had less added sugar? Is there a recipe that you're creating for your holidays that is a healthier version of something you used to, or is it just a newfound love? Like there's this new soup my mother-in-law makes, like that soup recipe would add a lot of value to our audience. Are you somebody who's into fitness? Like that could add a lot of value to the world around you. If you're somebody who can provide fitness with, especially with the way the world is and people being in their homes and not able to maybe go to their gyms. So how can you add value to your world? Another way I can offer that you guys can add value is that as much as people like to see our success, they connect with our struggles. So if you've walked through something challenging, how did you overcome it? What did you do to get through it? If you can offer to people a struggle you personally walked through and share how it was that you made it through, that is of high value to people, and they're going to feel like they more know you. So authenticity builds trust, and that's what we're doing using these 3 things of stories, going live, and adding value, is that you're building authenticity, and that builds trust. And people, at the end of the day, they do business with those that they know, that they like, and they trust. We encourage you to build in humor. We're going to build in humor in some of our posts on the 28 days because people like it, builds your likability, that you don't take everything too seriously. And lastly, that value, that builds connection. Just like I talk about when you share your struggle, that connects the world to you. So those are 3 ways to enhance your engagement. let's talk about 3 phases of engagement. So you've got your post, you post, chat back, and this is where most people fail. Most people fail to chat back. So if somebody comments, comment back. They send a GIF or a GIF, send one back. If they send you a message, make sure you're sending one back. This is where a lot of people fail. A lot of times we kind of get lazy and we'll just put the like, thumbs up, or the heart. But I encourage you to go above and beyond and do a little bit more to chat back, because then the goal is to be able to take it to a private message and start a conversation with them. Hey, thanks so much for engaging with my post. It's been way too long since we've caught up. I'd love to, how are your kids? Like, what's new? How are you handling COVID? Like, what's going on in your world? How's work, right? Like, there's so many questions you could get into a conversation with somebody right now. So I encourage you, is once you guys have chatted a little bit back and forth, and maybe don't just, end when, if they say, hey, like, I love it, don't just say thanks. Try to find a way to comment back that, and ask them a question, or says something to them, and then you're able to go into a private message. So success strategy is to post daily, chat back, initiate 3 to 5 comment likes from each post. So initiate a conversation. That's what it was meant to say. So initiate a conversation, 3 to 5 of them, with people who've commented or liked your posts. And then we're going to talk about a purpose-driven pivot. So as you guys, before I get here, so what I mean by this is you're going to post, you're going to chat back, you're going to initiate 3 to 5 messages with people who've commented or liked your stuff. And you're going to, kind of go back probably on the surface conversation. And after you guys are finished having just a genuine, authentic conversation, like you would on a street with somebody, or at a sporting event, if you run into somebody and you'd have a conversation with them, when that kind of gets to the end, what I want you to do is pivot. And I want you to say something like, I would love to tell you what I've been up to. Would you be open to sharing more information with you about it? No worries if not. And you're going to see me always end that, any question, any invitation, with no worries if not. I want to let them off the hook. I do not want to have them feel pressured in any way, shape, or form. And so these are just ideas, you guys. So you get almost done with this conversation, you pivot and you say, I have no idea if you'd be interested in this or not, but I'm actually part of a really cool Facebook group called the Strong Life Project. I'd love to plug you into this Facebook community. It's health and wellness focused. Would you be open? No worries if not. And lastly, hey, just curious, since we haven't talked about it before, would you be open to taking a look at Juice Plus? And obviously, you guys, where you are with that person. If you think they know what you're doing, or if you think they might not know, or if you have had that conversation before, right? You're going to be able to tailor it to be appropriate in that situation. Curious, maybe we have talked about it. Don't know if you thought about it. I've never really, I know you know about it, but I've never really been able to share more with you about it. Would you be open if I added you to a group and tagged you in a video? And so this particular scenario it has helped my family so much. I didn't know if you might be open to learning about it. No worries if not. So pivoting is so important. And so really, this is the closing of this particular section, this particular training about engagement. This is about starting conversations. This is about you creating, and again, probably the most important posts are the ones that get woven in between the product posts, get woven in between the trigger posts, because whoever starts the most conversations wins, because conversations create relationships, and relationships create business. So I hope you found this helpful. I look forward to seeing you on the other side of this. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.
Okay. Did you guys learn something new, or maybe feel inspired by something? The only person I could see was Cheryl, and she was taking mad notes, you guys. She's like writing down all the notes. So I would love we have a few minutes left. So I would love to open it up. If you guys want to unmute yourself, if you're in a place to do that. What were some key takeaways? Maybe something new you learned, or something you want to implement?
I have a question, Emily.
Yeah.
Okay. They said something about someone likes your post. Okay, let's say you did a post and you said, if you're interested, private message me. But then all they did is like it. are you supposed to go back and talk to them about, like, they're not asking, to do it. They're just liking it. I mean, why would they like it if they're not interested?
Well, and yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation, but I've seen things where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of interested, but I'm maybe not at the step where I'm going to like message you about it. But I definitely think if someone likes it, unless it's a total mistake, they're somewhat engaged. And so I personally would send them a private message and just say, hey, I noticed you liked my post. Um, you know, what stood out to you? Ask them some type of question to continue the conversation, depending on what the post was about. Like she said, starting conversations, whoever starts the most conversations wins. And so maybe just taking that one step further and giving them a place of invite to be in conversation. Some people just aren't in a place where they're maybe comfortable to message you yet, or they don't even know what they would ask you. But if they like it, I would go ahead and assume that they're somewhat engaged for sure.
Okay, like what if you're inviting them to an event and they just like it? I mean, it's like,
I would definitely say, hey, I noticed you like this. I would be happy to send you the invite. And in that case, I may just go, depending on where the invite's at, I may just go ahead and send it.
oh, okay. All right. Thanks.
I loved her pivot ideas. And I did take a screenshot so I can pop it in a Voxer chat
I was
for you
going to
guys.
screenshot of that too.
Because I feel like, conversations just kind of naturally fizzle out, no matter how good you are at starting them, no matter how good at you are at asking a lot of questions. Sometimes they ask what's going on with you and sometimes they don't, but they just naturally kind of fizzle. And then it's kind of like, okay, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, all right, I'll come back around.
Yeah.
But I love that.
I think depending on who you're talking to, and Jamie said this, go with your gut. If it's, maybe a relationship you need to build a little bit more, by all means do that. But there is a time and place where we just need to tell people about what we're up to. But I love that she gave specific examples of what to say to pivot, because we do want to get to know, we do want to ask questions and see what people are up to and be authentic, but there is a time and place to pivot that. And I think too many times we feel like, I love how she uses the word pivot, because we feel like, oh, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to how do I even ask her for the sale when I haven't even shared anything with her yet? And so if we could get good at pivoting our conversations into, it's essentially just an exposure of, can I invite you to a Facebook group, or can I invite you into a Zoom event, or can I invite you into a Facebook event? All of those things. Deb, I see, how do you pivot? Lindsay, I would love to hear kind of what you learned. I know you've been learning a lot of different things on social media. How do you feel like?
In a conversation, and I know I heard this from a training, I did not make this up on my own, but it's based on what you're saying, would you be open to taking a look at what I do? Because I lead with the business primarily all the time. And now, like Jamie was saying in that recording, that people are looking for conversations, and there's so much to talk about. All these new people I'm meeting on Instagram, they're kind of all over the world. And I can just easily say, what's it like where you live? And then they're like, oh, we have, so many places are in lockdown. But that's usually what I say. I say, based on what you're saying, would you be open to taking a look at what I do? And she's completely right by just saying, be consistent. And it's slow starting. And especially with the algorithms and things, everybody starts from the very beginning with one friend, and then 10 friends, and then 100 friends. And I had somebody follow me that I didn't know was following me. And I always get so much more engagement on posts that are not Juice Plus related, whether it's my kids or a funny joke or something. And I did this post about eating the banana peel, eating in the shake. And this girl, and this is on Facebook, and this girl on Instagram did it and tagged me in it. And I was like, I didn't even know we were friends. And she's a teacher, and now she's coming to the teacher event tomorrow night. So you never know who's watching you. She was like, it worked. I couldn't taste it. And I was like, wow, Okay. So just, like she's saying, like Jamie's saying, add more value, have fun with it and just be yourself. And I think we should do like a 14-day live challenge because I don't go live ever.
That's what I'm talking about. I think getting out of our comfort zone with like, what could you basically, and closing this call tonight, and I know Courtney, you asked, how do we go live? Like, what do we share? So let's talk about like how we can challenge ourselves in 2021 in this social media world. Maybe you could just challenge yourself to starting, I don't know, depending on where you're at in your business, maybe it's 10 new conversations a week, or setting yourself a goal of just starting a new conversation. It's not even about like, start with the conversations, learn how to pivot, just take it conversation by conversation. But going live specifically, I would love to do a 14-day challenge with this group. I have only done one myself. I know Carrie's done a couple. Jamie Kenzie does them all the time. It's led by a social media, he's in network marketing. He's called Ray Higdon. And he is kind of what teaches like the if not, no worries. Going live is out of a lot of our comfort zones, Dr. Jen. So you're not alone on that. He talks a lot about obviously what value can you provide? How can you provide value? But also, I mean, think about like what live videos engage you. Is it if someone's teaching someone how to do something, and he actually gives prompts on the 14-day challenge, he gives you prompts on what to go live with. But it's like go live teaching your followers how to do something. So you could say like, how I make my green smoothie, or and sometimes it's even just funny to create engagement. I saw someone post one day, like how I'm training my 2-year-old, like potty training. And it was just like funny things to engage people. So it could be, there's so many different things you can go live with. I think a lot of times, at least me, I think like, oh my gosh, I have to go live and share our research, and I don't even know how to describe our research. And like, we overthink things. But what if we went live and just, shared, three things that are motivating me on this Monday, or 3 things that are getting me through this Monday, or I don't know, something. How can you provide value to your followers? And what do you share about? What could you write a book about? Go live on that and just share your story share your healthy living journey through different live videos. And essentially you're going to be repeating yourself over and over again and sharing different content around the same things. So without getting too far into, going live and the 14-day challenge, maybe we can talk about that and put a group together. But hopefully this inspired you to, get your kids to go live with, use them. People always
Also,
your kids are
Emily, I just want to share real quick. So catchy titles. Okay, so I'll share what I've learned from Ray Higdon. I know we're at 8:31, so I'll make this quick. Catchy titles, and we can talk more about this in our own groups. Or you can learn anything from a book, Google, magazine. Okay, so think about your 3 to 5 interests, right? And think about something you've read lately or something you learned, right? So that whatever you read, you can go teach, or you can go share. Maybe you can't teach it, but you can share it. Have notes, teach in 3 bullet points, and then say, well, there's 10 tips, here's my top 10 tips. And I'm just going to give you 3 of them here. And if you want the other 7, or if you want any other, just DM me. Okay. So the whole point of maybe engagement and going live is that you're going to share something of value, but you're not going to share everything. Right. So if you share the top 3 things and it's engaging enough, then, their response to you is, hey, I really like that. Could you share the other ones with me? And then at that point, you can get into the relationship and the, engagement, and then pivot, right? So think about that. Think about what you're reading, what you're learning, how you're growing, right? Maybe it's nutritionally, maybe it's not, maybe it's fitness. Maybe it's something mindset wise that you're learning about or growing in. So think about those tips, and maybe that'll help.
Thank you, Carrie. I love that. Okay, you guys, that's what we have for tonight. And I will post those pivot ways to pivot in the team chats. And thanks for showing up tonight. Happy Monday.